this point, they had to give me TPA, I think it's called, where but they couldn't give it to somebody who's already had a stroke the night before. So my wife was asked, you take this now, you could die from it, or it could save you. So she had a lot to think about, my wife did. She thought, well, at 6 a.m. he actually got up and walked across the hall, okay, to the bathroom. So he was walking okay up to that point, so give it to him. So at this point, I'm still out. My head is full of whatever. My right arm and leg aren't working at all. And so apparently that stuff began to work for me. My legs started working first, my arms started working better, my hand came back, and my head came back. So I thank God for this. God had a lot with that. And not to mention, the place was full of so many people and so many family members that were there praying for me. It was amazing. My parents came up and they were just amazing. All the people were there for sharing me. It was so powerful. Okay, at this point, we transported down to Boston because they have better things that they can do down there. More testing is better down there. So my wife was, doctors would come in and ask me all sorts of questions, and the questions were all kind of silly because they'd say, raise your right arm, and I'd raise it, raise your left arm, and I'd raise it. And my wife said, put your hands in your hands and ask it. So they did, and he said, you touch your nose, and I did something that wasn't that. I was like, I had no idea. And they're like, oh, what's going on with you? So, because I looked fine, but there was a lot of things that weren't going on upstairs. They weren't working. So at that place, I had a lot of doctors coming in, asking all sorts of questions and stuff like that. In the meantime, I asked Sherry if I could get a radio and a book. Because I really just wanted to listen to radio, listen to my favorite things, talk radio. I listened to Rush and Howie all the time, and I just wanted to hear them. And a book to read. So she brought them, and I turned on the radio, and I'm listening to it, but it's kind of hard to explain, but I couldn't get what he was saying. He said a word, and I didn't get the word. It didn't connect to me. And then someone would say another word or say something else, and I'm like, okay, what was he talking about? And at that point, I was so far behind the conversation that it wasn't worth the time to have the radio on, so I turned the radio off and turned on the TV. Then I decided to pull up the book, and that was really difficult to look at. I kind of opened it up and look. I can see all the words. I can read all the words in it, but I can't read it. And it's extremely difficult. I'd say one word at a time. But after one page, I was exhausted. So it's like, forget the book. I'll put the TV back on and take naps. It was really kind of lousy. But I was getting up to go to the bathroom myself, so things were improving in Boston. So next they sent me up to Salem, New Hampshire for New England rehabs. So I was there for a week maybe, and it started, I had a PT there that was walking me around and testing some things, and I was getting my strength back on the right side, which was good. But one of the helpers one of my friends that were helping, that were coming in, they'd say things to me, and I wouldn't really not know what they were saying, or I did, but it's kind of weird. I got something funny to tell Hal at this point. Yeah, we're ready here for this.
You see Gary talking in front of you today, and you understand what he's saying. I went to Parkland, and I was hoping to, first of all, I was hoping he was okay. And then when he started talking to me, I thought, wow, this is amazing. He's all right. You know, he's coming through this fine. And he's such a good faker. He's trying to tell me to get something from his house to bring in. We spent half an hour. He would say, and I'm not making fun of him. What I'm trying to do is explain how amazing it is, the progress he's made. He says, you know, bring me. Okay, bring you something. Yard. Oh, in the yard? There's something in the yard you want? Okay. Well, what is it? And he's like going like this. Thinking, okay. Is it a box? He said, yeah. All right. Well, where in the yard is it? He says, Pritch. I'm trying not to act too, you know, I don't want to bum him out. I said, Pritch? You mean porch? It's on the porch. Okay, well, this kind of thing went on for half an hour. I finally think that he means to bring in some kind of a book or something from work. But I had a brilliant idea. I said, you know what, Gary? I know. Here's a piece of paper, man. Just write it down for me, right? He lights up like, yeah. He takes the paper and he got the pencil. He's working at it. I'm waiting anxiously to find out what this mystery is after a half an hour. And he's going at it. He's all excited. He's making all these letters and he takes it, hands it to me, and there's a big look on his face. I look at it. PRRT Okay, Gary. I said, don't worry. Obviously you used it on Swahili and it's just coming back to you.
Okay, you go say it. I couldn't write back then at all. It's very, very funny now. But at the time, I thought I was writing, get me the Bible. I wanted my Bible, but apparently I didn't write it. So things weren't going well in this place for me. At night I had a quiet time, so I went down to the computer area, sat at my computer. There's an open computer in this place. That's great, so this is good. I can pick up on some news and check up on some things. So I sat down at the computer, and I couldn't remember any name. I couldn't remember Yahoo, the Drudge. I couldn't remember anything. I couldn't remember my role where I had for my stuff. So I just kind of stared at it for a while and kind of got up and walked back to my room and put on the TV and watched on the Red Sox. So I watched a lot of Red Sox that time. All right, so, and finally I got sent out. I was taken out, or let out, and sent home. So I started with on the 30th with a woman named Lisa, who's great. She's so perfect at this. She's just so good. And speech therapist. You know about my speech therapist. So, because my reading was awful, but my writing was atrocious. I was calling my daughter Alicia, I was calling her Lynn all the time, which is my sister's name. I just called her Lynn all the time, which really upset my wife. But it's like, I'm sorry, which I don't do anymore, but it really bothered me at the time. And the worst thing was, I'm hearing things that aren't being said at the time. My wife would say something, and I would think she would say something else, which is very difficult. It really was a difficult time. Can you put in number 2, Rick?